Hello, Final Fantasy Randomizer channel. My name is Hebbings, and we are here for the first qualifier of our Speed Gaming Live 2024 tournament. I am joined in the booth tonight by Hatax. How are you doing, Hatax?
It's a great day, Hebbings. Happy to be here with you.
Yeah, I'm very happy to have you in here as well. Hatax participated in last year's tournament with me, and we had a great time. So happy to have someone knowledgeable in the booth to help guide you through this tournament chat. We are on a 10-minute delay. We have about 5 minutes left to go for the runners to take off. So until that time, I'd like to go ahead and throw it over to Hatax real quick to go ahead and give us the rundown on our seed settings for the tournament.
All right, so this year with the FFMQR Speed Gaming Live tournament, we are on standard logic, which means that players need to get coins to progress through to the different regions. They can do out of logic checks like crest warping with an exit spell, but that will not be required to progress. All of their inventory items will be found either in original chests, so original red chest locations, NPCs, or battlefields. They will not be finding any of their inventory items in possible brown box locations, but we are also running with the Shattered Sky Coin mechanic. There's 24 fragments or shards that they need to pick up in order to get their Sky Coin and finish the game. And those will definitely be found in possible brown box locations.
Yep, those will also show up as red chests. So if it looks like there's a red chest where it shouldn't be, it is a sky shard. And I think another huge thing that I'm very excited for this huge tournament is this will be the first year we're running for Speed Gaming Live with Overworld Shuffle turned on.
Yes, Overworld Shuffle, meaning that you may not possibly start with a town in your starting region. You might start with just a bunch of battlefields, or Bone Dungeon might be in the Sky region. But all of the enemies are region locked, meaning that all your weak enemies are going to show up in the starting area. All your strong enemies are going to show up in that windier region.
Fox, I got to ask, what's your favorite sprite to see on Rope Bridge? Mine personally has to be Lava Dome.
I've actually now seen a lot of sprites, map sprites on Rope Bridge. Mine tends to look kind of funny. Mine just looks like it's floating off the bridge, literally.
I love that's like one of my favorite parts of Overworld Shuffle. Speaking of things that are locked, though, another cool setting that we brought in for this year's tournament seed is companion locks. So our runners will only have access to 2 random companions out of the 4 available. Hatax, if you'd like to give them the rundown on that.
Yes, so there are 4 companions that will join you throughout the game. However, in this tournament, you are limited to 2 of them, randomly chosen by the seed at the start. Their locations, you'll find them in their vanilla locations. So, for instance, Phoebe will be first found in the Libra Temple. Once you do her quest mechanic, she will then be found in the Windia Inn. Your companions will level up by you completing quests. So each companion will have 4 quests, an easy to do quest, 2 mediums, and a hard. Your companions will level up 7 to 15, 23, 34, and 41. So they'll start at level 7 and they'll be as strong as level 41 if you choose to complete all 4 quests. Additionally, their spells are going to be gained at fixed times and locations. So you have to complete a certain number of quests in order to unlock, let's say, Phoebe's white spell to help you clear out all the enemies.
Yep, and that is going to definitely be a game changer because we also have Spellbook Extended turned on. So a lot of our companions are going to have a little extra juice than what they would normally have in the vanilla game. Tristram especially got a huge glow up with this setting, giving him access to not only the exit spell, but Flare as an offensive option. Ruben and Kaylee also got some offensive buffs in terms of Ruben getting Blizzard and Kaylee getting Meteor for some of her spells, making things a little bit more enticing to fully max out your character if you want to sink that time in.
And one big one is that in order to progress in the Forester region, we'll cover that when we get there. Our runners are off.
Yep, and it looks like they started with bombs. I always call that a baby seed setting, personally. They started with Tristram and bombs, so everybody looks like it's just going to sprint to Bone Dungeon. 10 looks like he dropped off to hit up a battlefield real quick to do some money farming. We already have Captain's Cap behind the steel shield chest. That is one of our go mode items for tonight. Vanilla go mode is still needed, so as a refresher, we're going to need Dragon Claw, Mega Grenades, Captain's Cap, Thunder Rock, Mobius Crest, before our runners can get to the final dungeon. On top of that, they will also need the mentioned 24 Sky Coin shards to get into the final door. Now, you might notice some of our runners will open up the start screen and go into the game info screen to make some checks on how many shards they have or some of the player info. But a lot of these runners have been practicing for the last couple weeks, and they've been using an option we have available on the randomizer site called dump game info screen to file. And what that does is it basically takes that in-game menu and dumps it to a text file, so you don't have to press start to check those quests and everything every time. They probably have them open on another window. So you might not see that as often as you would think. Little out of order in our checks here, but everybody's generally playing the same game. It looks like we're fishing for a coin.
That is what I am seeing. We're having so far nobody really expressing deep in Bone Dungeon. Everyone's kind of doing those initial checks and then bailing out.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a little afraid to take on Rex at level 2 and 7. Might be looking for a couple power sheets here to get through Rex. Maybe Mega Grenades or Excal, or maybe just some levels. If they can fish out a partner level, though, that would definitely help them get those settings. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can't get the.
So I'm looking at our quests right now, and I think they're gonna be behind the 8 ball a little bit on the partners. Seeing as their first quest to level up Tristram is gonna be to save the Crystal of Earth.
Ooh, yeah. So that quest, some of these quests are just as simple as they sound. So since you need to save the Crystal of Earth, it looks like that our runners will not be able to boost up Tristram before the fight. Let's check some of the other quests, though. What do we got? Let's see. So Tristram's requirements for level up are save Crystal of Earth, defeat Squidite, collect 27 Sky Fragments, and save Crystal of Wind. Meanwhile, the other available partner we rolled for the seed
is Ruben.
Yep.
And Ruben is not available to us in the Earth region.
Unfortunately, he would be a great beat stick for this fight, but it doesn't look like he's available right now. His quests are collect 20 refreshers, defeat 2 mini bosses, visit the box in the Light Temple, and defeat Dullahan. I would say, honestly, personally, out of these 2 available options, I would pick Tristram just because of the ease of the quest completions and his general use in glow up he gets when he gets leveled up 4 times. What about you, Hitox? Who would you go with out of these 2?
You know, unless I'll take Tristram for a while and probably get to level 23 just so I have access to an early exit spell until I get it with Ben. And then I'm probably going to take Ruben to Dark King just because he's a little bit more durable.
That's fair. Yeah, Ruben does have resistance to fire. I think Tristram actually has more HP and higher speed. But that's the trade-off is like, do you want to bring White or do you want to bring Flare to the fight? And do you want to have someone fast or you want to have someone with a little couple extra resistances? Tristram also has fire resistance as well. So it is kind of a toss-up. The boys kind of got the short end of the stick. They have no status immunities, unfortunately.
Yeah, they really don't. Well, Tristram, I think we fixed it. Tristram does have his death or fatal resist, so he should be able to resist Doom Dance in the event that Dark King rolls it.
Should did that get fixed? I can't remember. Oh man, and shout outs to our 2 lovely trackers we have for us tonight. Me and Hitox, even though we have 4 eyes between us, cannot watch 4 screens at the same time. So shout outs to Nutmeg and Socket for being our trackers for tonight, keeping us updated with notes that we might have missed, and locations where folks have found stuff. And it looks like Scarcer and 10 have already defeated Rex. Looks like a pretty simple fight here. Nothing too nasty. Silence especially being basically a free turn for our players here. So it looks like we're already going to get a level out of Tristram and move on out of here.
Yep. So one thing to know about these fights, all of the enemies have their attacks randomized. They are pulling from different areas and different regions. The one thing that cannot happen, they're not going to get any of Dark King's types of attacks in their scripts unless you're fighting any of the 4 bosses in Doom Castle. But we have Fast Dark King turned on today, so we won't be seeing any of those boss refights.
Correct. And it looks like I had misspoken. Demon RHK is the only one to take out Rex right now. Looks like everybody else is fading and maybe dropping by to get some levels or get some more XP to beef up. Looks like everybody else has some bad RNG, but RHK hit a good stride here, putting him in the lead on screen. Now, as a reminder, this is a qualifier. So the 4 runners you see on screen right now are not the only 4 runners we have tonight. We have 15 entrants for tonight's qualifier alone, and that's not everybody who signed up for the tournament. I'm so excited about this turnout for this tournament. I think we have like what, 20 entrants this year, roughly.
I'm not too sure. I haven't seen it either, but there's been a whole lot of chatter in the Discord channels. Lots of people taking on practice seeds and getting ready for this.
Yeah, it's been a wild time, and it's super exciting for me personally, being one of the race admins and one of the older runners of this game, to see the interest here. I just realized with the claw bomb combo that Wintry Cape Squidite's on the table. So if our runners wanted to go ahead and get a level for Tristram before taking on Rex, they could defeat Squidite, run back, and then just have Tristram cast life for an easy kill there. That being said, Squidite himself could be a problem. I think Squidite does have more HP than Rex has and has 2 accompanying enemies. So we'll see how that plays out.
So this is interesting. Demon did clear Flamerous, but he didn't get anything except looks like a Libra crest.
So it looks like our tentacled friend might be gating our first coin for progression tonight. Full disclosure, I rolled this seed tonight, so if anybody wants, if this gets cursed, there's no one to blame but me, but I'll always blame RNG instead. So that's my little shield of defense for anything that happens tonight. We have not pre-vetted these seeds for the tournament. We will not be pre-vetting seeds for tournaments. So anything can go tonight, folks. And during the tournament, things can just get a little wacky from some of the stuff we've seen in the seed report room. But all in all, I would say 9 times out of 10, the seed is pretty favorable. It's those 1 in 10 chances where things get a little hairy. Speaking of hairy here, paralysis spray on Squidite here. Scarcer is dipping out basically right away, trying to weigh their options, might run back to Rex. Meanwhile, Demon now on Squidite, catching up with the rest of our runners here. Gonna have a big advantage having a level 15 Tristram in here, having that huge HP pool. And I think Tristram gets Quake at 15, which doesn't sound great because Quake just doesn't sound great on paper. But having a spell that just can't miss in general at any point in the game is always a good option. I do think Squidite also resists earth damage though, so it might not be a great play, but we'll see how it rolls out with these crits.
I think just having that 760 hit point pool is gonna be the telling story between Demon's fights and pretty much everybody else's.
Agreed. And like I said, Tristram not only has the highest HP pool count out of all the available partners, but he also has the highest speed. So if you look on Demon's screen, you'll notice that those 6 levels that Tristram got from defeating Rex are making him basically outspeed Squidite every turn, basically guaranteeing some triage from Tristram before Squidite could potentially kill one of the party members. Really flipping the odds on this. Meanwhile, Tybalt has gotten his river coin, so we've found out what this squid is gating. So Demon should be getting his river coin here as well. There it is, and our runners are off. Honestly, still anybody's race, since Rex is basically a free fight at this point now. Now that all of our runners have gotten the level 15 on a partner, they could run back and get Rex at any point and What was Rex gating again? I don't think it was anything huge.
I think Rex is gating Libra.
Yeah. So that will open up our runners to 1 check for a key item. Now that being said,
Demon,
Libra.
cast exit demon.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I think Tristan. Yeah, no, Tristan. No, he does have exit. You're right. He should be casting exit right now. But Tristan having exit's such a new thing for anybody playing the randomizer that I don't blame anybody for not realizing that they have that option. I guarantee the next time they press start, look at spells, they're gonna go, wait, I have exit.
So honestly,
it's a
like,
weird menu change.
So I'm looking at 10 now. 10 is taking that dive into Bone Dungeon to beat Flamerus. And I think this is a good call. I mean, we know what's there, but that's 2 guaranteed inventory items you're looking at. And those are great chances to get something. Also, by getting Tristan to 23, right, he'll get that free exit spell.
Indeed. Yeah, no, honestly, if you have Tristram in your party, that is 4 guaranteed key item checks in 1 dungeon, which is not particularly long either. So if 10 remembers the exit out of Bone Dungeon once Tristram gets that level up, he could gain some ground on Demon here. Meanwhile, it looks like Tybalt has found Windia. I did not catch what was in the vendor shop, but thankfully our lovely trackers did. It's an Aegis shield up for sale. A huge buff for our runners.
Yep, so Aegis Shield giving you that Petrify status resist. Only item in the game that will give you that Petrify resist on Ben. But it also comes with a free paralysis resist too. So Ben gonna be able to heal out of these problems when they start cropping up.
Indeed. And that is kind of the name of the game with the randomizer in general when it comes to Ben's priority. Levels are nice. They give you more spell charges, they give you more HP, but the equipment is what makes Ben a viable party member at the end of the day. And as many status resistances as you can get, the better. Ben's the only character in the game who could be resistant to every status ailment and element. So if you get the right gear early, Ben can actually be a very viable tank. It looks like we've got.
All right, so
oh, no.
So we've got some things
Dome
going on here. We've got a lava dome dive. We've got the old man in level forest giving heal, and 10 donating all those free frames back. Not dropping a life from Tristan on Flamerus. So fun
it's
fact.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, go ahead. I know what you're about to go over there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but we have a lot of new runners in this tournament, for better or worse, which I love seeing the new players, but you can kind of tell the difference with the familiarity of the game here. As me and Hatox know, once you're over a certain level threshold, you can life an undead enemy to death. So right now, if 10 were to throw a life spell on Rex, since he's level 15, that's a 1-hit KO. I think you only need to be, I think Rex is level 8. So you really only need to be like level 9 to get that to trigger. And that's how that works in the code. And unfortunately, the knowledge check here is going to lose 10 time in this race. But RNG could come into his favor later, and you never know. Battlefields here, Scarcerer is taking on the easiest trees in the game. You love to see it, especially if that's a key item check. I love getting that battlefield. It's just basically free real estate. It's money, which is still needed. Money routing is still needed.
Yep. So are you a fan of just using bombs to clear out these types of easy battlefields?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I'll if I've got bombs and I know I can 1-hit KO the enemies, I will go ahead and throw up a prep a bomb and then just have my partner on defend to reduce the animations and the text box time. But that's the I've been playing this game for too long in me. Meanwhile, Demon going to check the Hermit now that they've got one of their go mode items, the Mobius Crest, and the Hermit had the magic ring, so a great pickup here. Not as good as the Cupid Locket, but it will give them an option. And if he used exit there, he could get access to Tristram's second check and to send Ruben over to the mines, but that's a gamble because he won't have a way back to the main continent. So until he gets the multi-key. So I don't know. Would you save before exiting out there and making those checks?
Oh
Make
no,
that play, Hitox?
if I'm making that play, we're gonna go all the way.
Yeah.
We're exiting out. We are going to do everything in Fireberg, check the vendor, get the Tristram item, send Ruben to the mine. So fun fact about this flag set, you still need to talk to the characters to trigger them. So like for instance, Ruben's at his house, you need to talk to him to send him to the mine, where then you fight the Jinn, and then after the Jinn fight, you can talk to Ruben again to get his item.
Correct.
So I'm
The
doing
biggest
all of those
change.
out of logic checks. And then if I get stuck, I'll exit on the world map.
For sure. Yeah. And I personally, I would do it too. I would just make a safety save beforehand so I didn't get stuck in another continent like soft locked. But like I said, with Tristram having exit, that is a wild gamble that I would play in this tournament setting. Speaking of the partner sends, we'll have another really big change in this tournament where Kaylee is not going to be used for her own checks. Instead, Kaylee's mom will be used for checks. So our runners, when they get Tree Wither and Elixir, they will need to go back to Forest and talk to Kaylee's mom to trigger those key item checks. That being said, since we do have Kaylee's mom making the check at Minotaur, any partner you have with you will be used to fight the Minotaur. Not that he really needs any help to defeat anyways, but it's a nice little change, so you don't have to fish for Kaylee proper. You could just go ahead and talk to Kaylee's mom. She's got some interesting dialogue too, if you've never stopped and read that.
All right, so I wasn't paying attention, but Tybalt pulled a sun coin from somewhere, and he just got a sand coin, it looks like, out of Aquaria vendor.
Yeah, it looks like Suncoin was in Fireberg South Battlefield, so where you would normally find the Sealed Temple. Tybalt made that fight, and he got rewarded with basically the entire world now. It is his oyster. He can go anywhere he wants without fear of being locked into anywhere. Went ahead and checked the white chest there and got Arrow. That's a very powerful black magic spell that he'll have a lot of charges of, basically guaranteeing him all the fights. Except for bosses at this point, Arrow can get you through basically all the trash fights. He'll be our first runner in Aquaria, I believe.
So 10 right now, going through Rope Bridge and getting actually really rewarded for it with 2 Sky Fragments. I've noticed having that with this particular flag set, I've actually ditched Rope Bridge because there are 40 fragments scattered all over the world map. I only need 24 of them to end the game. I'm thinking, what are the chances that I get 2 in there? Probably better to just find them on path.
Yeah, for sure. That is the same logic I took when I was making the seed / testing. Because you're right. If you take Rope Bridge, you're burning a lot of steps for what is essentially 2 brown box checks that could potentially have your sky coins, which 2 out of 40, you're like, that's not a lot. So honestly, keep it in your mind as a backup for a quick check location if you're just short on seeds when you hit go mode, on shards when you hit go mode. But like you said, sticking on main path for your chest density is going to be the best play during this tournament, I feel, for our runners. Speaking of best plays here, some noble armor from Tybalt, stopping by his blue battlefields, getting rewarded. That water resistance and poison immunity is going to be very nice for him. Ooh, trees are dropping Quake, but it's the baby Quake, so no big deal.
So I like this play out of Tybalt right now. He's clearing battlefields. He's going after all the blue battlefields because those are the guaranteed inventory items. Battlefields in the randomizer, they've been recolored and also resprited. Gray battlefields with the vanilla sword logo are experience battlefields. Green ones with the circle or gill symbol are gold battlefields. And blue ones with the treasure chest icon are guaranteed in item drops for you at the end. But I'm liking this play because Ben needs levels, and Tybalt's going through these battlefields and getting all these free levels, and he's going to pick up items along the way too.
Indeed. Although it doesn't look like he's using Arrow instead. It might have been a mismenu, but casting a snowman there. There we go. Use the big spell. Blizzard is not very good. Not only does it not do a lot of damage because of scaling, but it's also just incredibly slow animation wise. I think it's about a 3-second cast versus White and Flare's 1.5-second cast. But Arrow also has a 3-second cast, but the difference is it's scaled up ridiculously high. Like, it does more damage than Thunder, and it's the same element as Thunder minus the water, but damage be damage. Meanwhile, looks like 10 has finally made their way into the mines, gotten their tree with her. We have not found. Have we found Foresta yet? We have found Foresta. It's in
we did find Foresta. Tybalt found Foresta. It's in. It looks like it's in the Aquaria region.
Right?
He's in it. He's in it right now. He was just doing the checks. I didn't catch whether he talked to Mom or not.
I think he did. So that leaves the revisit the level forest on the table. Minotaur could be gating something nice for our runners. I haven't seen a single wizard spell yet. Got confirmation from our trackers. Mom was spoken to.
Okay, that's good. Because we're about 21 minutes in. We have Captain's Cap and we have Mobius Crest. Still missing a lot of good items here.
Yeah, no wizard spells. We don't have any of our in-game weapons required, so no megas, no dragon claw. And we're also missing a sword and an axe, which the reason our runners have faded the ice pyramid is not because it's a bad location to check. It's a great location, but they need a sword to get in. So until our runners find a sword, they're going to be locked out of that location. And honestly, it's one of the best locations in terms of check density that you could get it with these flag settings. I think, honestly, Bone Dungeon is the very best just because of how compact it is, but Ice Pyramid's a very, very close second in terms of locations you want to go into for item checks.
All right, so I think Tybalt's probably going to be faced, Demon too. Demon has all 3 coins now too. The problem that our runners are going to run into very quickly is they now have access to the whole world. Now where do you go?
Right. It's the paralyzing effect of freedom will be afflicted upon our runners here, though it looks like some good decisions are being made here in terms of where to go next. Demon might be regretting the fact that he didn't top up before coming into this double steno fight. Aside from that, though, making the same plays as Tybalt here, trying to get in and clear out these battlefields, not only for levels, but for items. Tybalt making good use of the dab bed, since I don't think any of our runners have stopped by to buy any seeds yet. So that's going to restore his charges and his HP. And he might be heading off for the level forest.
That's what I'm thinking. That's going to basically be a free item for him. Honestly, if I were 10 earlier, even Tybalt, if he had visited Fireberg, I check how much gold I've got. I'm going to do some on-the-fly math and start buying up some seeds. And if I can only buy one, I buy one, and I'll just dupe the rest.
Yeah, 1 seed is all you need. And for those who are not familiar, we do have consumable item duplication still enabled. This randomizer fixes a lot of the major glitches available to the game, but we classified item duplication for consumables as a minor glitch because it's a time sink. It costs you about 5 to 6 seconds to duplicate a seed every time, even with optimal menuing. So to take the time to duplicate those seeds will cost you, like we said, time in a race, but it could be incredibly advantageous. Tristram giving an axe to our runners here, a very nice item to get, and it looks like Tybalt is going to go ahead and do mines. So gonna take on Jin with a level 15 Reuben. Not the worst thing he could do, honestly. I don't know if I would prefer Tristram in this situation though or not. Oh, and Dragonclaw available for sale, so that is one of our key items we need. Unfortunately, that opens up P Tower and Tree to be required for Mega Grenades, but it's a very good item to have.
Great item to have. It can put on pretty much all the status effects in the game onto your enemies, so you're going to start seeing enemies just drop with 1 hit of the Dragonclaw. They're being petrified.
Yeah. So whenever you see an enemy killed with no damage numbers, that is a petrification effect going off. Looks like Scarcerer getting a little lost here in the Light Temple. Unfortunately, not figuring out how to get to the box so close. They just need to jump over that river. But I think a lot of new players forget that there's a jump button in this game until they're forced to use it. So they just need to jump across this little spot right here. Jump. There we go. And
There
now there's a
we
level.
got it.
Yep. Ruben, does he get white at level 23?
On this one, he's gonna get it at 34.
Unfortunate, but that is one step closer to having our boy Ruben. So if our runners decide to take him to the end of the game, making that light temple check really isn't that long of a run. So pretty good play here from Scar, all things considered, minus the getting confused there, but that's something that'll be worked out in the tournament proper. I'm always interested in seeing these qualifier races because you'll see some of our newer players come in and see some of the hiccups that they have in their runs, but you'll see the refinement in their play throughout the tournament as they make it further in, even in the qualifying section. Like I imagine Scarcer is going to take a lot of these lessons and just improve upon them in the next run.
You know, at the end of this, I'm gonna ask them if there was like a gentleman's agreement to not cast exit with Tristan because nobody seems to be doing it.
Right? It's driving me insane. It's driving me a little crazy, not seeing any of our runners use exit. For those who don't know, exit will also be huge for overworld exploration. So Tybalt going back to Foresta here could have been done by opening up the menu on the main screen on the overworld, casting exit, and it would warp him back to his starting location when he first fired up the seed, saving a huge amount of travel time here.
You know, big props to Tybalt though. This is what I'd be doing right now. I'd be farming refreshers because at 20 of them, Ruben goes up to his next level.
And honestly, he got one of the choicest locations for chests. It's a straight shot to that chest. It's super fast, no enemies in the way. There are a couple better locations he could have gotten, but honestly, this is one of the best ones you can get.
Yep, and I'm thinking if I'm Scarcer, I might be either doing that too, or I might be duplicating the refreshers, because the next level up for Ruben goes to 34, and that's white right there.
So definitely a huge play for them. I think honestly, the hardest check our runners are going to have to consider on whether or not they want to max out Ruben or not is going to be taking out Dualahan. It's a lot of legwork and a lot of fighting for not a lot of checks. It's one check. And honestly, he could be pretty nasty with his high HP pool, fire resistance, and just general not good location to travel. Mount Gale's not the worst place, but a lot of people just don't like doing it. Let's see if Tybalt takes the life kill route here. Does not, unfortunately, but Tybalt has enough damage. This will probably be cleared in like two turns anyways.
Oh, yeah. But our runners definitely very, very gentlemanly toward each other today.
That'll go away in time. Trust me. We're going to see some more of the cutthroat. I got to go fast. All things considered routing later in the tournament. But for now, you know, this is going to be a great learning experience for our runners. Meanwhile, Demon going to go ahead and go check Mr. Krabs. Honestly, a pretty good play. Mr. Krabs is not a very long check to do. And with an axe or Ruben or just good spells available, this is not a long fight at all. He is taking Tristram in here instead of Ruben, but still, honestly, this will be like a 3 or 4 turn fight probably with Arrow.
I like this play as well. With the crab being a guaranteed item, it definitely moved up my list of areas to check as I'm roaming the map.
Yeah, the mini bosses are all generally decent. I think Medusa has the worst stigma about her, followed closely by Dualahan, just because not only is it a long trek up to her for an item check, but she's generally pretty mean. She has a decent amount of HP, early game resistance to wind, and just those two dogs with her can roll some nasty moves that can make that fight overbearing if you're not properly leveled or geared going into it.
All right, Mom just forked over Cure.
No life yet on the table. Well, do our runners have life yet? I haven't seen.
I have not seen life pop up yet either.
Life is going to be the bread and butter for our runners. That's going to be the spell that's kind of going to make or break their decision to go ahead and sprint to Dark King. Honestly, for newer runners, not having life going into that fight is terrifying. As a seasoned runner, it's a little sketch, but it can be done. So it's just a matter of your comfort level in doing that. And Demon now getting a second exit. Let's hopefully see if he's going to use it.
Okay, so honestly,
now,
if at this point, if I'm Demon, I'm probably done with Tristram, especially because I don't really want to save the Crystal of Wind. If I don't have to, the Pazuzu fight's terrible on a good day.
Yeah, Jerkbird is a Jerkbird. Now, if I'm forced to get Jerkbird for Mega Grenades, I might take Tristram over Ruben into the final fight because at that point he's going to be maxed out. But that's a logic routing I generally don't want to see. So we'll see if our runners are forced into it. Tybalt finding Wakewater in P Tower. It looks like he decided to dive it anyways, just to go ahead and check it. And being rewarded for that dive, Wakewater is going to give him access to the top of Focus Tower, which is another 2 key item checks. Locked behind, one's behind the Venus key, which he already has. The other one is just there and free. And all he's got to do is take a couple steps for it. And also getting fire resistance with that moon helmet. P Tower's pretty good looking right now.
This is an excellent play on his part because, like you said earlier, that's 2 guaranteed items on the 6th floor and the 4th floor. And on entry, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check what I call the treasury on the 1st floor. And if there's anything red chest looking there, I'm going to go all the way down, pick up those sky coin fragments, and then exit out. I'm not going to take on the bird until I have to take on the bird.
Indeed. Tybalt forgetting a little bit of the mechanics here for Jerkbird, but it's okay. That'll come in time. Basically, he already had Jerkbird locked. So you only need to sandwich Jerkbird between floors between 2 floors. So right there, he only needed to hit the switches for floors 4 and 6. After he talked to the Jerkbird, he was going to teleport up to floor 5, where he will be trapped. So if he does need to make the return trip for the bird, he knows exactly where he's going to be.
And so we're seeing a lot of divergence. We already know that some of these plays are not going to play out. We got Elixir off of Ruben now after the mine. Still can't save
nice.
Ruben's dad though.
Unfortunately, yeah, you will need Mega Grenades for that. But Kaylee's mom could be gating Mega Grenades. So if any of our other runners decide to go kill Jin, everyone else besides 10 has Tree Wither. And I believe they've all done Mom at this point. So having checked the first Kaylee's mom check, all they need to do is find that Elixir, talk to her again in Aquaria, hop on over to Windia, and talk to her on the 2nd floor of the inn. And that's another key item check available. Tybalt is going to go ahead and take on Mr. Krabs. Switching to Axe here. Level 1 Axe isn't going to be great. I'd honestly take the damage from Dragonclaw over anything, but spells are going to be your best bet. Meanwhile, Ruben, though, packing that heat. Love seeing that Morningstar hit on Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, Mr. Krabs being weak to all of the axe attacks, and Ruben's Morningstar being a vanilla axe attack.
Yeah, basically just 2-shotting the crab there. So now Scarcerer and Tybalt now getting access to their exit spells. Hopefully we start seeing some warping available now. And Demon RHK dropping by to get some seeds. Gonna go ahead and strategically purchase just enough in case he needs to double back to Windia and buy that Aegis Shield. He has not done that yet, so saving that money, he's definitely gonna want to make that purchase. It looks like we're
for
just
me,
gonna
that's
see checks from everyone else.
That's a purchase. That's an automatic one. Looks like we're gonna get a check of Spencer's Cave from Tybalt.
Nice. This is going to be 2 guaranteed key item checks on top of a brown box check. It is a long trek, but with exit available now, at least they won't have to make the walk of shame back up. Let's see what Spencer's handing out. A battle axe and a tin can. So nothing great.
No rewards there. But he can still do the back of... Did he not do the back of focus?
Not yet, but it looks like he's utilizing exit, which I'm so happy to see. So instead of making the trek all the way through Windia, he just decided to exit out on the overworld and just go back to the starting location, saving him some walking distance back to Aquaria. And I believe now he's going to go to North Focus Tower.
All right. Oh, and finding also the Libra Temple. So talking to Phoebe, and hopefully also, using that Libra crest we got early on to get a Thunder Spell.
Yeah. Not great, but it is our first wizard spell available, and more spells available is always nice. And it looks like Fireberg was locked in a weird position. So the only way our runners were going to be able to get to this location was if they defeated Lava Dome, which meant taking on Hydra, or if they used Wake Water like Tybalt did. Otherwise, they would have to warp in and have the multi-key to
So this
get
was
in and out
that
of
was
the
that
world
soft
proper.
lock. That was that soft lock situation you were discussing earlier. If you warp in with the Mobius crest and then exit out of Fireberg to the world map, you can't go anywhere. You can't go out of Fireberg because the Aquaria region was still snow locked, and the path out of the mountains was lava dome locked.
Yeah, so you would have been stuck and would have had to take a force reset. So unfortunately, fortunately for all of our runners, no one decided to kind of break logic there and make that check. I'm so shocked to see Tybalt actually going to Dualihan here. We might see him take Tristram 4 to Dark King. But logically, this might be the play. We still don't have a sword or mega grenades. And I don't think we have any other checks available, do we?
Oh, it's super surprising to see a 46-minute Dullahan fight. Or no swords. I think we still have Lava Dome accessible to us.
True.
Specifically the Hydra.
Yeah, Hydra could be gating an item, and honestly, that is more than likely why all the other runners are fading Lava Dome at this point. Without Mega Grenades, you only get one key item check out of Lava Dome, making it very not preferred by any of our runners. Honestly, I would probably make the same play here. I would rather take on Dullahan with a white spell from Ruben than dive all of Lava Dome to potentially get nothing at the end of it.
Yeah, it's always a feels bad. It's a really long walk through the lava dome. The lobby is really confusing if you haven't seen it a lot. There are two paths that you actually have to take. You have to take a path to hit a switch to open the door, and then at that point you have to retrace your steps down to a lower door, and then go around to finally get the path to Hydra.
Yeah. Now, on the upside, Lava Dome does have the highest brown box checks per capita out of any location in the game. So if you're short on Skycoin shards, Lava Dome is the place to be. That is going to be Ice Pyramid or Lava Dome are going to be where you're going to want to go to make all those checks. 10, using the select button on the overworld to scroll and look. I'm so happy to see someone else doing that in Overworld Shuffle. Low key, very great strat to employ there is to kind of peek at the other regions. So if you press select on the overworld, you can scroll the camera and just look at where everywhere is. So you're not going to be able to see names, but a lot of our location sprites are very, very iconic and able to be seen in a glance. Ooh, Gaia armor. It's a good drop, but it's not the drop I think Tybalt wanted to see.
All right, so Tybalt getting kind of rewarded, but not being able to advance the game any with that Gaia armor drop. Scarcer are now over in the volcano, taking on Medusa. This should be pretty quick.
Indeed. And I don't think anybody's checked Phoebe in Wintry Cave yet. I've seen Tybalt send her there, but I don't think he dipped in to make her check yet. So she could also be getting something good. But it looks like he's going to go ahead and check Giant Axe.
Giant axe, giant tree. He's going through the. So we got Tybalt. Sorry, got Tybalt going through a live forest right now. Gonna do the one check at the very south end of the forest that is free. Scarcer got a sword. Scarcer got Excalibur.
Ooh, T-Rock, and yeah, getting a sword inside. Did he get that in Ice Pyramid?
No, he got that sword in from fighting Medusa.
Gotcha. So Medusa's gating Pyramid. Ooh, and
And
T-Rock is in the Giant's Axe chest in a live forest. So this is...
so that's gonna be a required check right there.
These are getting to be some very interesting decisions. 10 might go to top a tree. We'll see. And you might just be exiting out after getting these 4 checks right here. Yeah, it looks like that's the play. I think Giant Tree is still the worst check to make, even though this is in vanilla settings, because the only red chest vanilla in this location is you have to go up, defeat Ghidra at the top of the tree, then drop back down the floor 2 and go through a couple rooms to check the meteor chest. So a huge time drop. But if Ghidra's gating go mode, that could be the play.
You know, the one nice thing though about the tree is that if I'm short on shards and I'm running out of checks, that is a place to go and possibly harvest a few shards. There are a lot of brown boxes in there.
Oh, indeed. Yeah, it is. A lot of the mini dungeons, I think, out of all of them, I think Winter Cave is second only to the Giant Tree. Ooh.
Tybalt just used up his last seed.
Ooh, did not get a chance to dupe them. Thankfully, he does have Fireberg available. It's going to be a trek to go get it. And he's also defeated Dualahan, so he could stop and shop in Windia now. He has two locations to pick up seeds. Utilizing Ruben's Blizzard spell of all things to defeat these doggos first before he starts dumping in white casts on Medusa here. Or not. He might be out of charges.
Yeah, that seed apparently also went to Ben.
Unfortunate. White would definitely make short work of this fight here. Meanwhile, Scar and Demon still making their way through Ice Pyramid here. And it looks like there's a pretty good amount of shards in here. I'm seeing a good amount of red chests in these brown box locations, although it looks like Scarcer, unfortunately takes a fall here on the bridge. I was literally about to comment about how spooky that bridge can be for newer players. I guess I wished it into existence.
Having so I'm gonna save Scar there for a moment and tell you that Ice Pyramid bridge is also pretty terrifying for seasoned veteran runners too. And there's the mega grenades right Huge there fun. in so we're gonna just say that was intentional. He meant to get those mega grenades now instead of later on.
Calculated, totally.
Yep. So one of the quality of life things that the randomizer brought is that Ben just moves faster. But faster in 99% of the cases is better, except in Ice Pyramid, where you can potentially fall off the ledges because inputs are getting eaten.
Yeah. Really forcing our runners to utilize a technique I like to call tap walking. Where you basically tap an input on your corners here. You can see Demon doing it very strategically, also making very good use of that jump right there to get around there. The route I take in this floor actually is pretty interesting. So if I have a chest at the top there, I'll jump just straight across because you could jump across those gaps. So I'll go up to the start of that wind and I'll just jump across, grab that chest, and then go left to jump over to the left side. It's just 2 jumps back to the middle. Jump routing in this game is so much fun, and I think that's one of the things that makes exploration so much fun in this game. Is once you figure out your jump routes, you're just you're kind of schmoovin', just like Scarcer did right there on the bridge up the Ice Golem. It wants you to do this little windy path, but if you just double tap up and then just hold down jump, you're free and clear to get to the boss. So
you know that is also my strat too. I'm just jumping literally into the Ice Golem. But one thing that I'll do slightly differently is I'm not gonna, if that chest up top is a red chest in the bridge walk, I'm saving that. I'm gonna go up all the way to the top, fight Ice Golem, because when I drop, I'm gonna drop into that bridge walk area, and then I can pick up that red chest.
Yep, a very solid routing strat there. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see the big old 4,000 damage from Flare on our Ice Golem here, but we get to melt a Snowman nonetheless with some white laser beams. Ooh, Demon RHK got a confused Ruben. This could be sketch. Thankfully,
we've got an interesting thing. we have a brown box behind Ice Golem. So there is going to be one check in the game out of all of the vanilla red chest locations, all the enemy fights, all the battlefields, that will give you just something consumable. And so Ice Golem being that particular one.
And speaking about Demon again, so in the last phase for Ice Golem here, if you don't do enough damage, his Desperation attack is normally a double waterfall that damages you and heals him for a couple hundred HP. Since we have enemy attacks shuffled, that has now been delegated to a double confuse, which was given Demon a little bit of a spook there, double confusing the party. Thankfully, he was able to break out of it and defeat him, and Ruben did not kill the party. So
I gotta say that special attack Ice Golem uses, I hate seeing it in battlefields because I feel like once I see it on one enemy, I'm gonna see it on the next 5.
Yeah, it's like you don't ever see it, or you see it way too much in a seed. It's all or nothing here. So it looks like in terms of go mode, Tybalt is closest. All he needs is to get the megas from here, and he has every item he needs for go mode minus his shards, and I don't know his shard count. Meanwhile, the rest of our runners, 10 has his Dragon Claw, no megas yet. Demon has megas, but no Dragon Claw. But I know I saw him stop by the Fireberg Inn and see that it was available, but he didn't have enough money. He spent all of his money on seeds. So it might be doubling back here to try to get that cash. Going through Windia to do it. Meanwhile, Scarcer is going to be able to free Aaron, so we might see him check to see what Aaron has. If it's Flare or White, that is a welcome boon indeed. Tybalt taking the walk route very quickly, I might add. That is some smooth execution on that walking path there.
That's some bravery right there. I am not nearly that fast on that bridge.
Look, everybody's got their own techniques, and some folks just can schmoove on through there, and other folks, you just need to tap your way through, and that's okay too. Whatever gets you to the end of the bridge without falling at the end of the day. Yeah, Demon is stopping back in Fireberg. I think, trying to remember, go to the shop, but kind of forgetting why he came. Unfortunately, that is going to cost him a bit of time here. The rest of our runners are retreading here.
So the one thing I have a little bit concerned about Tybalt right now is, yeah, he's in go mode definitely, but he's only at level 13, and I'll be honest, with these flag settings, I find that to get a consistent Dark King, I probably want to be about level 17 or 18, and I'll be honest, 17 is even kind of scary sometimes.
Yeah, 20 is usually the sweet spot for tournaments. If you're especially brave or especially loaded up on gear, though, 17 can do it for you. You just need to have a great amount of luck and fearlessness to get through that. Meanwhile, speaking it into existence here, Aaron did hand out Flare, a huge boon for our runners. Scar getting being the first one to get that, and for all intents and purposes, Tybalt is in go mode, I believe. I have not seen his shard count. But if he decides to double back and get Aaron or finds White along the way,
so we just got a shard. We just got a shard count check from Tybalt right now. He's at 19, so he's gonna go shard hunting.
He only needs 4 more shards, and honestly, if I was Tybalt, I'd probably stop at a couple of those XP battlefields along the way and grind up a little bit. If not there, max ship. So at this point, I'd be beelining the free max ship and kind of making the judgment call there. Do I grind on max ship, or do I stop and hit up a couple battlefields and hopefully get the lucky one that has the good XP reward?
So I find that early on, like if any battlefield with 1 or 2 enemies in it, I don't really care what it's giving me. I'm gonna stop and take a swing at it, because those early levels are gonna make the difference on some of these mini bosses.
And it looks like Tybalt was fishing for some low count battlefields. Our battlefields are randomized from 1 to 5 encounters between them. And Tybalt got a good formation here. He's probably gonna get 2 levels out of it, not just the 1, but still. Dropping in the lava dome here with exit, this is going to be a great play. Not only is it going to give him access to the life chest and to the moon helmet chest for a potential pickup of white here, foregoing the need to save Aaron to get flare. It's also going to give him a shot at getting the Apollo helmet or life, because I don't think any of our runners have life yet still. And Lava Dome has some good XP in it. Like, this is the third area of the game, so it has a decent amount of XP from its enemies. So an okay place to grind up to about level 20 as you work your way through.
Provided that Lava Dome is found in Overworld Shuffle in that 3rd region. If you find a really early Lava Dome in Region 1, you're just getting brownies and slimes.
Yeah, not a great location to fish. Well, conversely, if you get a Lava Dome in the Windia region, that is going to be a tough fight to get through unless you're well loaded. And we got a vanilla life chest. Literally, that is the location that life is normally in. So is the seed even shuffled? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll do it for the chat. Is this even randomized?
There we go. But life is definitely one of the big check boxes that Tybalt wanted to see before going in. He only needs about 2 shards left, I think.
Yep.
Or 1, if I'm counting correctly. So let's see what's in Moonhelm chest here.
So I'm seeing chat here asking about max ship and the chest layout. So I like to say that 100% of the time there's almost guaranteed to be 1 Sky Fragment shard somewhere in the ship. The red chest that is in Mac's room when you talk to him is still going to be considered a vanilla inventory location. So you are going to get a normal inventory red chest item.
Indeed. Which could be the Dragon Claw. Because the way the logic works out, Dragon Claw could be on Mac's ship. So can the hat. The hat could be on Mac's ship. So
yep. Pull that hat out of the chest and give it to him.
Yep. He couldn't be bothered to walk about 5 tiles. So you're gonna do it for him. And getting an updated shard count from our trackers here. Looks like Scarcer is up to 20 shards. So as soon as they get their key items that they need, they're about ready to go in go mode as well. Looks like Dragon Claw is the only thing they're really missing here. Some of our runners have forgotten to go back and check their vendors. You hate to see it, but sometimes with all the checks you make and the logic you're running in your head, you tend to forget some of the things that you need to backtrack for. Demon going back for Aaron, though, getting flare, so that is going to give him an edge up in the final fight if Tybalt does not find white. Getting that message again. If you don't have enough GP for Dragon Claw, he's like, I gotta go get money. I need cash.
Yep, and Demon being told no, so he's gonna have to go and grind up some battlefields for some gil.
Yep. Thankfully, it looks like Dragon Claw is the only thing. Dragon Claw in 3 shards is the only thing that Demon's missing for go mode. And Scarcer, I believe, just got their last shard, if I'm not mistaken.
So Tybalt right now looking like he's on his way to Windia, so I think he's going to go to the ship, and if he's still short shards, go questing around for a little bit.
Be interested to see if he checks the bow. A lot of players don't know that there's a brown box hidden on the very bow of the ship. But there's also some checks down here in Grandma and Grandpa's basement. There's 2. No shards tonight. Unfortunate. Grandma and Grandpa are not loaded. Those two checks are kind of all or nothing, I find. Not checking bow.
Yep. I gotta say, one of my favorite checks is what I call the skill check, where you have to jump and dragon claw your way to a chest all the way in the back of, I think it's B1, and then you kind of have to drop down after that. There's no other way out.
Yeah, definitely an interesting check, but it looks like 10 now potentially taking the lead, not only having a level advantage over Tybalt, but also having a kind of better positioning in just terms of gear and shards. I think
Is
10
he short shards?
might be. Yeah, 10, 23 shards. So they just need one more. And I'm pretty sure I saw, a red chest right there. So that's their last one. And they can go ahead and buy seeds right here. Meanwhile, I do want to go ahead and give an update on qualifier times. None of our on-screen runners have finished yet, but we have gotten in some completed times on our qualifier board. So in first place, we have Fried Potato with a 1 hour, 1 minute, 29 second completion time. I won't give out any other positions or runners yet, but that is the time to beat. So the way the point system works for the qualifiers is anytime you complete behind the pole position runner, you'll be given points. So you want golf strats here. When you finish first place, you get no points. Any other seconds past that initial pole position time, you'll accumulate a point per second, and then, or per minute, and I believe seconds give you like fractions of points, but it'll all be tallied up by admin staff here, and then we'll be giving our runners the average after 2 of their best qualifiers. So we have 4 qualifiers available before the tournament, and we'll take your 2 best scores, average them together, and then those will be your positions for the tournament.
What is 10 looking for? 10 just did the last Doom Castle basement check.
Maybe life.
Is he looking for life?
Yes. If he just dove Lava Dome, I guarantee you that's what he's looking for. Probably fishing for life before taking on that last dungeon, because taking on Dark King without life, spooky as all get out. Meanwhile, Tybalt farming ninja encounters. Not a bad encounter to farm. They're weak to wind, and they give a good amount of XP here. He's only at level 16, so a couple casts from Ruben. If he could double up on this, he could get White Arrow and clear this out in 1 turn. Getting very bad luck there with that paralysis, though, costing him a ton of time. This is status ailment hell, unfortunately. And looks like 10 doesn't have white or flare either, as pointed out by our chat. So not having offense and not having life was definitely on their priority of things to check. I think 10 might jump for Moon Helmet. I'll be very interested to see if they dive all the way down for Hydra.
Okay, I do feel bad for 10 though.
Now. Yeah.
Cause I'm looking for white or flare. I need at least 1 nuke before I go to see Dark King.
The demon, demon also unfortunately having to make a pit stop here. Meteor, not the end of the world. It won't be the fastest Dark King fight, but it's like 900 damage a turn, which is better than nothing.
Meteor's a rough day at the office. Dark King resisting everything but fire.
Yeah, not what you want to see, but it is available. And yes, life thankfully has been granted to 10 via the life chest. Vanilla looks like 10's going to go ahead and full dive and clear out Doulahan here. We know that Gaia Armor's behind this check, but unfortunately 10 does not. Meanwhile, I think Demon finally got his shopping money. It's only taken him about three trips to Fireberg to remember to bring that shopping cash for his Dragon Claw. But he will also now have everything he needs for go mode.
I just feel really bad for Demon. He never got the Wake Water, and this walk to Fireberg, because of where it's located, just absolutely sucks for him.
Yeah, it is a pretty terrible walk. Flair has been found by our runners chat, so they had to save Ruben's dad. And then go back to Fireberg and talk to Ruben's dad. So Demon Archk has Flare, Scarcerer has Flare, 10 and Tybalt are missing their big damage moves. Fortunately. I don't think Tybalt dipped back into mine to save Aaron, so that's not on the table for him yet, and I don't think 10 has either. Yep, and White is still MIA. I believe it could be behind Kaylee's mom. Did anybody check Kaylee's mom after giving her the elixir yet?
No, I don't believe anyone did that. I also believe that our friend the bird Pazuzu is also still in the wild.
And Ghidra's meteor check is also on the table. So those three are not very good checks. Kaylee's mom being the nicest out of those three, not ideal checks for our runners. But Flare being readily available if you took the time to grab it is on the table. Demon now at level 16. Diving max ship. He's 2 shards short. He could grind out ship or grind out basement. Tybalt onto Dark King though. And we'll see if he's got true form turned on.
Oh no. So Tybalt, yeah, gonna have to use Meteor and White from Ruben.
At level 18. And Dark King, no pun intended, not pulling his punches as he hits, smacks Yang in the face there. The shuffle does weird things when it's scaled to Dark King's HP, and he can hit like a truck with some very basic moves. So some people think he's not so spooky when you turn on the shuffler. Some people are like, yeah, he's super spooky. I've had him hit me with a branch for 600 or 700 HP a turn before.
I've had him take out. So the one fight we never see, the Behemoth fight, in the game, I've had him use Horn on me for like 1-hit kills.
Because it scales off of his HP, and that is terrifying. Meanwhile, 10 looks to be making the play for Aaron here, so he might be getting his flare before he runs out for Goma. Being at level 17, not too far behind Tybalt, and honestly, that grind isn't too terrible to get up to 20 if you play it right. Ooh, the crits from some of these moves from mobs, though, chat. Like, if a boss crits you with a mob move, you're seeing 1,000 plus easy come out of that damage, and it is not something you want to see.
So Tybalt has a level 41 Ruben, so Ruben's going to be able to stand up to just about everything at least 2 times. I'm thinking what I do here is Ruben's going to be my main damage dealer now. I'm keeping him on just White all the time, and Ben's going to be my cast a cure spell every round.
Mm-hmm. A lot of these runners coming in at 16, 17, 18 threshold. I would make a safety save before coming in here. I don't know if I've seen any of our runners do that, though. Oh, yep. There's one from Demon making the play. Scarcer and 10, not too far behind. Scarcer on max ship. We'll see what level Scarcer grinds up to, because honestly, if the second half of King is terrible, or just phase 2 is terrible, Scarcer could pull ahead by simply just grinding up to 20 and getting that survivability down.
Yep. So one thing, chat, to consider is that every 4 levels, you get a wizard charge.
Sorry,
so, yeah,
I saw that 1600 pop up on Yang, and interrupt. Sorry about that. That just
no.
Every time I see a 1600 come out, I'm like, no, someone got crit, and it hurts so bad.
Well, at these levels, any crit from the Dark King is gonna just take out Ben.
We're seeing our runners, some of our runners use the auto strat here for Ruben, basically trying to triage out these attacks on whether or not they're going to be 50-50 on whether or not they kill Ben. Honestly, I gotta say, given Dark King's speed here, Trista might have been the better play. All things considered. Having max speed to go first every turn could be the deciding factor in this. But we'll see how our boy Ruben gets our runners through this fight. We already know level 18 is not going to cut it. 18 is not enough HP to get through some of these smacks from Dark King. So we'll see if anybody else grinds up to 20, but it doesn't look like we're going to see that tonight. We're going to see 16, 17, 18, and 18.
Yeah, I'm watching Demon here taking on the Dark King at 16, and we'll just say take one didn't go very well.
Demon's finish is going to be very RNG dependent.
Actually, I want to donate all of my race time GG points to Demon, because if he does this at 16:23, that's definitely an award of some sort he's getting.
Sure. Yeah, this is going to be a rough fight. No white. He's got flare. Not a lot of charges since he's at level 16. Not a lot of HP. Meanwhile, that Preeny giving Tybalt the business. Shout outs to my Disgaea fans out here. This is going to get sketched very fast.
So, oh man, I'd like to see some defense strats come out of Tybalt right now.
Yeah, Ruben was 17, 20 HP. Yeah. I agree. I would put Ruben on defense, and then I would have Ben be your attacker. But honestly, just with the raw damage coming out of Dark King Phase 3 here, this is going to be a fight. Meanwhile, 10 making it on to Phase 3, catching up with Tybalt. Same level. We'll see how the fight plays out for 10 instead. Tybalt has been stuck in triage for, I want to say, about 5 turns now.
Right.
Demon resetting
Demon
out of
fading.
that fight. Honestly,
Demon probably either going to get some levels, maybe a stronger partner.
Thing. Honestly, at this point, I would potentially invest quests in levels.
I mean, I will say though, I understand his pain. During some of the practice seeds I did, I did try to take a 16:23, even an 18:23 to Dark King, and Dark King basically told me no, not happening.
Yeah, you definitely need to bring your A game to Dark King. He does not mess around, even with his attacks shuffled. Like, you might get lucky with 1 or 2 useless attacks out of him, like mute, but otherwise he's bringing pain to the table in every way, shape, and form. Ooh, there's another wipe from Tybalt, and it looks like a reset. Potentially going to go grind out some more levels as well. He does have a maxed out Ruben, though, so he just needs to get levels on Ben, and he's good to go.
Yep. 10 also took a wipe there in Phase 3. Scarcer are now in Phase 3, though.
Yep. Scarcer at level 17, so not much better than 10 in Tybalt, but depending on how this is played, he might switch to defense strats. There's a you'll love to see a bone missile. Every time I see a bone whistle, I'm like, cool, free turn. And exactly like we were talking about, utilizing Ruben's high HP pool here to be the defender. So we might see Madam President strats here out of Scar. We'll see how this plays out. So basically, Madam President strats in this situation will be Ruben defends Rydia, being the meat shield, while Rydia does the damage. Oh wow, Scar did not get life before making that dive either. Really playing it risky. A lot of those plays, and unfortunately did not pan out for him. Sorry, that is Rosa, not Rydia. My brain is like trying to watch 4 things at once, chat. Thank you for keeping me honest. Another free attack for Scarcer here. He's got to be getting close to phase 4, making very good use of the defense strats. Good prediction on the potential crit. Very nice play there. Very nice how that played out. Putting him back on track to have the defense on there. The Bear Hug's doing 800 plus damage. That is nasty. Meanwhile, yeah, Scarcer just taking their time.
Yep. Scarcer doing exactly what he needs to do and not rushing this fight at all.
Yeah. Honestly, he's got the seeds, he's got the strat, he just needs to make sure that he's playing it right. Phase 4 from Scarcer now. Meanwhile, 10 back on phase 3 here.
So generally, when I see Dark King transition to phase 4, I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is 4 more nukes I have to launch.
Not far from the end, and these bone missiles are a godsend. I love seeing those. That is, like I said, free turns, free real estate from here. Scarcer is still playing it safe though and not sending it. Playing this smart. That's time for Scarcer. Let me see some dudes there in chat for our vanquished Preeny. Scarcer finishes with a final time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, 49 seconds. Very, very good showing from Scar. Coming in at level 17 and putting on a showcase of how much defense can really save your bacon if you use it correctly. GG's to Scarcer. So now that Scarcer has completed, I'll go ahead and give the our top times for our qualifiers here. Fried Potato finished with a time of 1 hour, 1 minute, and 29 seconds. Right behind him, Happy RTA, 1 hour, 2 minutes, 19 seconds. So literally less than a minute difference there. Third place, Farfaloo with 1 hour, 5 minutes. Ips T with 1 hour, 6 minutes. Ips T is our last year's tournament winner. Possum Morpheus coming in with 1 hour, 9 minutes. And then sixth place, Scarcer, 1 hour, 10 minutes. 10 is also on phase 4 here. Kind of holding my breath here, chat, and see if he pulls it out. Opting for the heal strats on Ben. See if he can pull out the damage. Ooh, there's a Doom. He has very low HP. Taking the opportunity to top up Ruben, but if he gets doomed here,
All right, that Trini just launching a missile there.
yeah, like I said, you love to see those bone missiles because those are free turns. Could this do it?
And no, 10 just sending it though. He knows that 1, 2 more and that's it, and that's time right there for 10.
That is time. Yep, finishing with a final time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, 45 seconds. GG's to 10. Meanwhile, Demon and Tybalt finally getting his flare. So having some good damage to bring to the fight. Also now level 19, so having a bit of a comfort zone. One more level will put him at 800, giving him another wizard charge as well. Not only being able to tank those 700 plus damage attacks, but also now being able to cast 5 casts of flare before having to use a seed. We'll see if he decides to top up one more level or go in at 19. Demon looks like he's doing a full dive. Do you think he's going to take on Hydra?
Where are we? Oh, we're that far down. I mean, we have to go and see Hydra now.
Yeah, I at this point I'm interested to see what Hydra has, and he still has not done the other 2 objectives for Ruben yet. So he's only got a level 23 Ruben, and I think that's one of the biggest things that handicapped him in this race tonight, is not getting his objectives done for Ruben. Partner levels are going to be huge for progression in getting you through some of these chonkier fights in this tournament. better quests you can get and the quicker you can get them done, the faster you can start steamrolling some of these fights.
Honestly, like in this flag set, level 34 with the partner is pretty much the prime place you want to be.
Yeah, 34
41
is key.
Yeah. 41 is nice, but you know, sometimes you just gotta go fast.
Yeah, sometimes. Making quick work of this Hydra, though. He's already at phase 3. Just doing work with that meteor.
Oh yeah, this Hydra fight is gonna be nothing to be concerned about.
Indeed. And thankfully our runners do not have to refight any of these bosses, so we're not going to see any Wyvern, Stone Golem, Skullurus Rex, Nose. So thankfully, none of those fights available. Looks like Tybalt's at 20, though. 20 is going to be his magic number.
No, I like this. I like this level 20 from Tybalt. Even though we've seen other runners get in at lower numbers, we got to see Dark King doing basically about 780 damage to Ben, fully equipped. So this 800 is going to allow him to tank at least one hit with Ben.
Indeed. Tybalt topping up here, probably going to make one more safety save. Yep, there he goes. Meanwhile, Demon is going to get his reward from Hydra, and it is going to be white.
Well, we found our white spell, Hevinx.
Yeah, it had to be one of 3 checks, and it was one of the worst ones he could possibly do, but at least he's done it. He now has damage. He just needs, honestly, he could go in now, and as long as defense strats are utilized and some RNGs in his favor, he could get through this if he levels up his partner. He has to get a tier 3 or tier 4 partner to finish this out. So I'll be interested to see if he's going to go ahead and try to dive back in again, or if he's going to focus on objectives before we're heading back in.
I really hope we focus on some objectives or we switch over.
Talking to Norma just to save the girl. You love to see it. Shout outs to our Norma fans out there in the chat. Best girl. Meanwhile, it looks like Demon is going to be taking that defeat Pazuzu objective. So we might see Tristram 4 on the table. Just needs,
no, we
3 more.
We might see Tristram 4, but he has Ruben right now.
Yeah. I would have grabbed Tristram before coming in here because Jerkbird is weak to shoot element.
Yep, and Tristram's Ninja Stars are considered to be a shooting attack, along with Phoebe's bow and arrow.
Indeed. So either of those 2 partners make short work of the Jerkbird. Either way, though, I think, yeah, honestly, at this point in Demon's playbook, if he does not go and do 20 refresher grind or the Light Temple box visit, once he clears out the Wind Crystal and gets like 3 more fragments, some 4s on the table. Chat, any bird that can reflect spell damage back at you is considered, in my book, a world-class jerk bird. So Za and Pazuzu both fit that criteria. And there's his final shard for Tristram. Yeah, I think we're going to see Tristram 4 come into play here for Demon. At this stage in the game, obviously we know it's not going to be ideal, but it is going to be a play. Like nerves might be getting to Demon a little bit. A couple of misinputs there. At this point in the tournament, you know he's got to be sweating it. And if he's looked over at the race time room, he's already seen some people complete the seed. So, I mean, I've been guilty of this. I know some other runners have been guilty of this. Once you see people finish before you, you really start to feel the pressure in qualifiers. You start thinking, what could I have done different? What did I do wrong to make it to where people could finish before me? And, you know, you start to crack a little bit. So heart goes out to Demon if that's what's going on in the mental space. Hopefully that's not the case, and he's just trying to work his way through it. But meanwhile, Tybalt on to phase 4, seeing that final preenie, and those 2 levels are really doing work for him here. Accidentally misinputting a snowman here, doing 88 damage. Not what you want to see, but the flare follow-up makes it worth it. There we go. That's the big money. More bone missiles. You love to see it, and I think this might be time coming up for Tybalt here. One more turn. Full send.
This turn should do it. This full send.
And that's time for Tybalt, coming in with a finish of 1 hour, 19 minutes, 52 seconds. Following right behind 10, we had Sir Lingalot with 1 hour, 16 minutes, 35 seconds. Wild Ham, the Randomizer's creator, coming in with 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 6 seconds. F. Coughlin coming in with 1 hour, 19 minutes, 10 seconds. And then Flip Hill finishing after Tybalt, 1 hour, 20 minutes, 44 seconds. At this point, Demon knows what he's got to do. It's just a matter of getting it done. I'll be interested to see the strats that are pulled out here. It looks like he forgot how to get back to floor 5 Pazuzu. Honestly, it can be a little tricky. There's a couple quick ways to get back here, though, making that safety save much needed.
I think my favorite way to get to floor 5 is to just exit and climb back up.
Yeah, exit is probably the fastest way to do it. Going through floor 4 down to 3 and dragon clawing across.
Oh yeah,
and then
if I have access to floor 3, that is another easy way to do it.
Yeah, probably another really good, probably about as fast, all things considered, since exit puts you a little farther away, but you got to walk a little extra to go through floor 3 to get to floor 5. Both are interesting choices to make.
Pazuzu almost not being any kinder than Dark King right now with the way he's hitting.
Yeah, no, those are some chunky smacks right there. Thankfully, Demon making full use of his arsenal of flare. Let's see if he's switching. Yep, switching over to arrow to keep the pressure up. You want to blitzkrieg through Jerkbird as quickly as possible. You really don't want to stop and replenish your spell charges, because every turn you waste triaging, that bird will punish you for it.
So chat, Pazuzu does act on a script here. For 4 turns, it's just a normal battle, and then on the 5th turn, his speed will drop to 0, so he'll automatically go last, and then he'll activate his Psych Shield, which is the magic reflecting attack. At that point, pretty much, it's almost every other turn where he'll take it down, and then you can get in some magical attacks, and then it goes back up. The one thing that is nice, though, is that once Pazuzu moves into phase 3, he generally won't use his Psych Shield. Is there a hit point requirement to Psych Shield, which is why Pazuzu can't use it near the end?
Not that I'm familiar with. I think it's a turn requirement. So we'll have to get the man who knows the code in here, Wild Ham. But if I'm remembering this correctly, basically the first 5 turns are free on Pazuzu. And then after those first 5 turns, he goes into the first Psych Shield, and it's like every 2 turns, he goes into a rotation. Yeah, seeing that confirmation in chat too from some of our other tournament participants here. 5 turns in, you'll start seeing the Psych Shield script rotate through. I'm interested to see what Pazuzu drops. We already know white comes from Hydra. What else could be here?
What are we missing at this point? It's got to be just magic spells, or did we get a steel sword yet?
We did get a steel sword in Pyramid, I believe, or was it? I've seen a steel sword.
We haven't seen a giant axe yet. I'm looking at
Correct.
the trackers right now.
No giant axe. We've seen Quake. I can't remember.
Yeah, we saw Quake pretty early. It was before the Wintry Cave stuff.
Yeah, Demon got to the end super fast in this seed, but unfortunately he sacrificed a lot of stats for this. If you look at the trackers here, Demon doesn't have Aegis Shield, no Noble Armor or Gaia Armor available, only the Magic Ring, so no Cupid Locket. Moon Helmet's good enough, given that the Apollo Helmet's in max ship. So being handicapped on those stats wasn't doing him any favors with having an underleveled partner as well, unfortunately. Oh, this could be a charm too. I don't think we've seen charm yet. Have we seen the charm necklace? I gotta check back our trackers. Okay, we have seen charm. Okay, thank you, trackers. Hopefully, yeah, I was about to say, please don't let him go through all this pain just to get a charm. Yeah, Aegis is huge. Giant's Axe, good call, Hatax.
All right, Demon, where are we going?
Gotta be getting to the end here. I think a Fireberg trip is in the books, picking up Tristram 4. Then running it at home with him.
Yeah. This is not the path to Fireberg, though.
Yeah. What was over here?
Oh, you know what? He has to... No?
He could get there through Aquaria. He could just take the vendor. Oh, no, wait. He doesn't have Gemini Crest.
He hasn't... yeah, no Gemini.
Oh, now he can walk there, though. He's thawed out Aquaria. I don't know if that's faster than just going through through Windia, but it's an option. This will also let him check North Focus Tower too. I think there were some goodies in there, some pieces of equipment that might help him get through this fight. And Libra Temple. I do remember there being stuff here.
Yes, and then he can also, if he's gonna keep Ruben, he can do Dullahan.
He could, yeah. There was Thunder here. That's right. RTA coming in, our second place finisher tonight. Like I said, finishing under a minute with Fried Potato. Really great showing from Fried Potato and RTA on our qualifiers tonight. Chiming in saying that Locket and Gemini were in here, and it looks like that is super true. Yep, Locket and Gemini. Locket's going to be huge. Not being able to be confused is so nice.
Yep. Yeah,
confusion has to be the worst.
That petrify. Yeah, then Locket will protect you against confusion, and that is the only item that'll do it.
Yep. Into Dullahan here.
I'm also kind of surprised that he either didn't visit the box in the Light Temple or doesn't have 20 refreshers by now.
Yeah. I don't know if he opened up that first brown box at the entrance to Bone Dungeon to see that that was going to be a quick refill. But yeah, it looks like Demon not opting to go grab Tristram for this fight and is going to go ahead and take on Dullahan now. Of course, we know that Gaia armor is behind Dullahan. This will be a huge upgrade instead of the Steel Shield. Now checking to see that he's got Tristram complete. Oh. Oh.
Okay, yep, so he's going to Fireberg. He's going to pick up our ninja. Kat, what you just saw right there, that's that game info screen we're talking about. Tells you about all the quests to level up your characters. Also tells you what quest you've completed already, in case you are not tracking it independently. Oh, and with Lava Dome done, we have that mountain path open, so we can walk straight to India. All right, this is gonna be the run at the Dark King. This is gonna be for all the marbles now.
Sorry about that. Doing some admin work in the background here, chat. I am also one of the tournament admins this year. So running some stuff behind the scenes to make sure everything's going smoothly here. But yeah, it looks like Demon is going to go ahead and take Tristram. And we're going to see the power of Tristram 4 here. Tristram 4 is no joke. You don't want to have to grind for him if you're forced to. But if you do, if the stars align and Tristram 4 just ends up being the better play, honestly, one of the best partners you can get next to Phoebe. He's super technical. You can't leave him on auto a lot of the time, but if you use him right in manual, high speed, good damage, great HP. He has the highest HP of any of the partners available. Look at that 1800. Look at it. He's a chunky boy, and he's fast. He has 109 speed, breaking the 99 speed cap.
Yep, so that speed's important. That way you know that you're always going to be able to get in a heal at least between Dark King attacks, and he's never going to get a chance to double up on you.
Yeah, and knowing turn order, having a set turn order in this game, especially when you have a set turn order where someone goes first every time, is huge. Unfortunately, though, Tristram not having any preventions from status ailments, so that paralysis is going to need to be cured up real quick.
Yeah. Some other things, I guess, stat-wise, while we watch this Dark King fight, you'll notice that that our runners generally keep the Dragon Claw on as they fight the Dark King. So Dragon Claw giving you a bonus to your magic attack stat. In other fights, maybe not the Dark King fight, but some other fights where speed is important and it's close, you'll want to have either the Knight Sword or Excalibur equipped. That'll give you a bonus to speed and turn order. One trick I like to do, especially with randomized battlefields, is I'll keep that sword equipped if I have it going into a battlefield, and a lot of times that's the difference between enemies getting the drop on me versus me being able to just fight them normally.
Indeed. And sometimes that 5 speed, like you said, could be all the difference between getting off something clutch and being too slow to make anything happen here. But this is a already much more stable showcase for Dark King here. I don't imagine this rolling back again unless the stars really don't align for Demon here. Unfortunately, did not get up to level 20 though, so still a little short on HP on Ben. But otherwise, Tristram, like you saw, is just going to be the man of the hour. He's going to steal the show here and just be able to fix any problem that is thrown at Demon, unless it's like, no, even if it crits. So looking at Tristram's HP, even if he's crit and gets hit by a 1600, as long as he's topped off, Tristram will live through it. Tristram can literally fix any problem that Dark King could throw at Demon at this point.
So I like that play right there. Instead of having Tristan cure himself, having Ben cure Tristan. Tristan would get off his flare first, and then if Dark King whacks him, Ben will just heal up and undo all of that damage and bring him back to life. That way you're not wasting turns right there. And there's that critical on Tristram, and Tristram just laughing it off right there.
Yeah, and already on phase 3, yeah, laughing indeed, getting tickled by those bone missiles. This is like a night and day from what we saw from Demon when he ran in here earlier. Just steamrolling this preenie. Still having to work for it a little bit. Ben's getting slapped around, but otherwise Tristram's just here like, I got you, let's go. Really showing off.
Yeah. Demon really giving us the tutorial on, like, just, the two tails of a Dark King fight.
Indeed. Showing off the power that is the time sink of Tristram 4. Again, like as much as we're singing Tristram 4's praises here, you have to invest the time to level him up 4 times. That means doing 4 of his missions. And depending on what those are, could be anything.
Also, Hebbing, did you ever notice that sometimes Tristram's Ninja Star Paralysis and Poison actually proc on mobs and bosses that they shouldn't proc on?
I have noticed that, and I've just taken it for granted, just going, I guess they do it. It's just a percent chance. Time, by the way, for Demon RHK. So, finishing out with a 134.26. So that is going to do it for our qualifiers here. Let me see if I can get some of these runners in here. Sorry if my keyboard's picking up here, chat. I'm trying to get folks in for an interview.
As far as our qualifiers go, we've got one more qualifier, one more runner still going. We've got This Dude Speaks running, and he's currently in his Dark King fight right now.
Yeah, so looking at the spread here, we have like a 37-minute spread, really showing kind of the skill spread we have. And I know a lot of these runners are new. A lot of these folks have only joined the community very recently. So I will be very interested to see where they take it. But we've got some of our on-screen runners here available for post-game interview. Let's get them pulled in here.
Hey, nothing.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Claroy.
Explains a lot.
Hello. GG's, gentlemen.
Thank you, thank you.
How'd you guys feel?
Terrible, absolutely terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Feel great.
We got Demon in here too. We got the full crew. GG's, everybody. Hello, Demon.
Yes, good work.
Hi there.
How's everybody feeling?
Ugh.
I could have done better.
I think that's how everybody feels after doing a qualifier for their first tournament. But no, you guys come in here saying you could feel better, and there's a couple little things I think we saw in the commentary booth that could be changed up a little bit. Honestly, you guys put on a great show tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed y'all's routing decisions and the plays made tonight, especially some of the early kings. Very bold strategies. All those early king plays. And I'm glad you all saved beforehand. Let's be clear. I was super spooked that someone might not save before taking on like a level 16, 17 king and get stuck. But you all did the right thing and you all saved beforehand. And I think it was you, Scar, who finished with the low level king. You finished at level 17, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, shout outs to you making so great use of those defense strats. Like it was textbook. We were talking about it going in and how folks were getting beaten up, and all of a sudden you just started breaking out the defenses and you played Madam President, having Ruben block for Rosa, and all of a sudden it's like the stars aligned for you and you wrapped up with a very respectable in the top 10 running position.
Yeah, this is my PB on this flag set, so it's all downhill from
Hey,
here.
nice. Congrats.
Yeah, congrats.
Speaking of the flags, I mean, Atox has been in here singing its praises, mentioning how much he enjoys it. How do you guys feel about these? Because I'll be honest, I'll let you guys know now. Me and Shanigan and Wildham labbed this, and I proposed the initial flag set, and we tweaked it from there. How do you guys feel about these settings for the tournament? We'll start with you, Tybalt.
Oh, me? Oh. No, I mean a lot of different styles of tournaments with different randomizers. This one actually feels like there's so much variance in it that pretty much anybody can really take it. There is some skill, but the skill level doesn't always mean everything in this flag set, which I think is really nice because it gives everybody an equal opportunity with their skill level.
Yeah, RNG definitely a huge factor in these settings. 10, how do you feel about these?
Yeah, just kind of going off that. Seeing Potato finish at level 16 without Flare or White, absolutely crazy. Couldn't believe he did that. But that's just the kind of thing you can do with this, I suppose. I've never played vanilla, so this is all kind of new to me, but I've been enjoying it a lot. I've run 50 seeds in the last like 30 days, maybe.
Yeah, and it's, you know, the knowledge check is going to be there for more of our seasoned runners to some of our newer folks coming into the tournament. Scar, how are you feeling? I noticed some veteran plays from you. You seem pretty well studied.
You can blame Possum for that. I've been watching him play. Seeing him play is what got me into this. I picked up the game like 3 weeks ago, maybe. But I've played a lot of FFR, and from what I've seen, a lot of the logic and how it works is built off of those same ideas, and it's all been really fun. This is the only flag set I've played, so I don't know how it holds up to like the rest of the randomizer. But I love Entrance Shuffle. It's a brain tickler.
Oh yeah, Overworld Shuffle. I was so excited to get those that flag set approved for this year's tournament. This is the first year we're doing a Speed Gaming Live tournament with Overworld Shuffle turned on. Demon, how do you feel about these flag settings?
I really like them. I think they're some of my favorite flags I've played in any of the various randomizers that I've been in, just because the seeds are going to be so varied because of the entrance shuffle. You never know what kind of madness you're going to get. It's legendary already amongst most of the runners about the couple of just monstrously bad seeds I've rolled. And you can get like things like this one. Like I start the seed, I roll up, and I see 3 crystal dungeons right up front, and I just kind of freeze for a second and go, oh, it's going to be one of those nights.
Yeah. The crippling decision of freedom is a status element no one wants to see. I think early on we saw Tybalt get hit by it first. He got all 3 coins. It's like, well, the world's your oyster now. Go figure out where to go. You almost hate to see it. Like you almost want to be railroaded in a randomizer. As soon as you have freedom, you're like, oh no, I have a chance to screw this up. And especially in a tournament setting, that can be a real nerve-wracking situation to be put in.
So I kind of want to follow up on what Hebbing said there. You guys were talking about how early on it was pretty much you were locked into place. Once you guys hit Fireberg and you found your Sun coin, everybody went almost in different directions, and it was impossible to follow all 4 people. So I think I will start with Tybalt. You had all 3 coins. The world was your oyster. How did you decide where you wanted to go next?
For me, I'm looking for quick, easy, free checks, get some armor, get some spells, maybe, if I can take on, find Phoebe so I get the free check, or find Fireworks so I can get Tristram's check. Some way that I can get more items, because information for me is always key, and just having the availability of having all the spells to you really kind of jet propulsions you throughout the rest of the seed. That's at least where I come from, that is trying to find everything I can right away as quickly as possible. So looking around, finding places, going, hey, here's Fireberg, here's Winda, here's Aquaria, here's all 3 items that you can buy. Cool, let's get those out of the way. I don't have to worry about those. I can get my money and spend the rest on seeds.
Yep, money was definitely an object in this run. Ten, how about you? How did you make your routing play once you had access to the world?
That's a great question. I can't even remember. I haven't, like I said, didn't play vanilla, so I haven't really gone through the mine or lava dome or volcano much. So I just kind of used the select overworld, like overview thing you can do. You move the map and just be like, oh, I can do something there. I might as well go there. And that's obviously something I can improve on a lot. But I think this run I went straight to Windia, straight to Aquaria, because we had the Wake Water.
We did.
And that just, to me, that was maybe not. I don't know.
Eventually.
Wait, you can press select and view the overworld map?
Yes.
Oh yeah, man. I was so happy to see 10 do that. I like gushed for 5 minutes because you almost never see anybody do that. But in Overworld Shuffle, yeah. As soon as you start to
run
see
the game. I've played the game for years.
Yep.
I've never known that.
No, it's not in vanilla.
Oh, it's not in vanilla? Okay.
No, just
Saved to well.
Speaking of things not in vanilla, though, I saw a lot of gentlemen on screen tonight. A lot of gentlemen not opting to use exit from Tristram once they got him to level 23. Did you guys just not realize you had exit, or You're just so focused on routing.
Oh no, I realized it. I was going to use it right after I picked up that Sun coin. I'm like, oh wait, I got Tristram. I'm just gonna get to. Oh no, I don't have a multi-key. And I thought if I exit out of here, I'm not coming back. And good thing because Fireberg was kind of locked.
Well,
Yeah,
at that point,
but
you
we
just
were
guys
talking about
exit
that.
again and go back to the forest area when you're in the overworld.
True.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that would prevent that situation. But we were talking about that. It's like, do you take the risky warp in Fireberg just to check it? And we looked later and we found out, oh, it's literally locked behind ice and lava dome completion.
I mean, I've done that. Like, it can kind of break the logic of the seed, and you can kind of get a nice power spike from it. Because then you're going to get
For
something
sure.
you're technically not supposed to have beforehand. All of a sudden, you get this nice power spike that you can bring back to your earlier areas.
For sure. So I believe we were on Scar with the routing question, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just looking for things that were easy to do. Like I was looking for freebies, and like one of the in one of the other randomizers I play, the community knowledge is do your objectives, do your freebies. And so it's like, okay, let's see if my freebies will give me objectives, and then when I got exit from the crab, I realized that also gave me Reuben 3, and seeing Tristram's other quests, I didn't want Tristram anymore, so I took my exit and got Reuben, because I knew I had the Morbius crest and could go to Fireberg out of logic and not get the Wake Water at any point in the seed. So I don't know why y'all said we had it, because I didn't need it.
There were some goodies hidden in Focus Tower North. It was Gemini Crest and Cupid Locket up there. So if you had Venus Key, it was play to make. But yeah, I mean, honest, we saw you do it without Wake Water. I wouldn't be surprised if RTA and Fried Potato and Farflu also didn't take Wake Water as well. Demon, how about your routing? What was your thought process behind that?
Oh, mistakes. That's one of my favorites. So story time. You ever had that feeling when your brain's screaming no, but your body's already sent that input down to your thumb to hit that confirm button? That was me buying those 11 seeds before I checked the vendor in Fireberg. And that involved me taking 5 more trips to Fireberg because I mind hold how much it cost, and every time, oh, I'll sell your Dragon Claw, but you're broke. And just repeatedly coming back there because I kept forgetting how much it was. But I guess I got to show everybody pretty much the whole seed since I pretty much full cleared it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I feel a little bad by how much you got gated, but I'm super happy you got to show off the power of Tristram 4. Because he really just kind of trivialized that return to the fight for you. Like, he's just such a boss, but he's such a time sink as well.
Yeah, the worst part of Tristram 4 was going into a lava dome I hadn't touched at 24 of 27 sky shards, checking every single box, and walking out at 26 of 27.
Yeah, that felt a little bad. You were rewarded with white, though. So if you hadn't gone and saved Aaron, white was a great backup spell for you to take in to King. So,
Demon, I have to ask. Sorry, Headings. I have to ask though. Like, what was your thought process on going to Dark King at 1623?
I believe it was 1423 actually, and the thought process was, I've done some seeds with some kings who don't hit hard physically. If I get one of the pseudo casty kings, because I had all the armor, so if I get a Dark King who's favoring elemental magic, I'm gonna half it all down to 300 and 400, and I can survive a hit. And in a worst case scenario, I can probably just start spamming Cure and just do a really long slog with Morningstar strats. At that point, I had already messed up and thrown away my Tristram 3 I had, so it was just go in and see. And then he's just like, hey, how do you like 1700 crits? And it's like, okay, well, we'll be back.
He kind of rolled up in a dump truck tonight and just started bringing out the damage. Not a very fun Dark King fight. I think there was only one freebie move out of the entire move set, and that was Bone Missile. Other than that, every move either had a detrimental effect, was an instant kill, or just did a crap ton of damage. So really, really hazardous. So shout out to you guys for getting through that. But I did want to go ahead and start moving on to final thoughts. And I think final thoughts tonight, I want to get what you loved about the seed and what you hated about it. And we'll start with you, Demon. Let's hear your love and hates.
I loved the open routing decisions you could make. I got to go pretty much anywhere I want. I'm a fan of running the fetch quest, so I got to run down crazy Shadow Priest Kaylee's mom into the Tree Wither and the Elixir and everything like that. As far as hate on this, it would probably be the companion selection. I think I'm weakest with Tristram, so I just had to send him to 41 and then just go full send. And I really seem to struggle when I don't have a Phoebe or a Kaylee to fall back on.
Fair. Yeah, the girls I think are just generally better favored versus the boys because they have status immunities that you can use to your advantage. The guys just don't get nothing. They get fire resistance, and Tristram can now, he used to not be able to because of a bug, but that's been fixed. He can now dodge instant death. But yeah, my poor boy Ruben, he's got a beat stick, white, in a dream, and that's about it. He doesn't have anything else to his name. Scar, moving on to you. What'd you love? What'd you hate about this seed?
I loved that I could punt Tristram off a cliff. I hate Tristram. Get out of here. I don't want to have to do 4 quests to have a usable final partner. I want to just go.
That's fair.
And I hated that we started with Tristram because I want to punt him off a cliff.
Now, I will say, getting up to Tristram, what the tier 2 Tristram or tier 3 Tristram, giving you exit, kind of a silver lining. But yeah, I feel you. I used to be on the Tristram hate train too. Being forced to use him for a couple events, though, kind of changed my mind to him, warmed me up to him a little bit. But I can understand the sentiment there. 10, what'd you love and what'd you hate?
I hated so much about this seed. First, I did love the fact that Ruben 3 was essentially free, so that was cool. I hate learning after the fact that you can life Flamers in this game. I swear at least 10 minutes lost to that fight because I had to triple dip. I just couldn't get lucky.
Yeah. Once you I think we found in the code that Flamer's Rex is level 8, and the way that undead enemies work in this game, for anybody who's unfamiliar, you can life an enemy to death so long as you are higher level than said enemy. So since Flamer's Rex, I believe we found in the code is level 8, as long as you're level 9, you could just come in with any character over level 8. That's why you can, in the vanilla game, why you can life Flamer's Rex to death with Phoebe, because she's higher level than him.
Huh.
But that's how that works. And then Tybalt, what'd you love? What'd you hate?
I'm gonna second Damon's. Like, I love the fact that we did have a pretty open area in this particular seed. I'm also gonna say the fact that I hated Dark King. Let's put it that way. So many crits. I couldn't get a foot in there the first attempt, but I as well think that my weakest pairing is, Tristram and Ruben. I think having access not only to the status elements, but also having the cure that you can use with both Kaylee and Phoebe. Not having those on the guys is just, you have to just work with life, and it's single target. I want my party heal. Give me party heal, please.
Just double life.
It takes so much time though.
And speaking of time, like, I was looking at the quests because I pulled out the text document that has the quests laid out, and both of your partners had pretty mean time sinks in them. Tristram's time sink quest was the Crystal Wind, and Ruben's was Dualahan. So it was kind of like pick your poison. Dualahan's faster to get to. I think that's what most of everybody did tonight, going for Ruben, leveling him up. But final shout outs, final thoughts from everybody, and then I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. Tybalt, let's go ahead and start with you. Any shout outs or any final thoughts going into the next qualifier?
Shout outs to Wildham and the developers of this randomizer. I love this game, always have, and to have a randomizer of it now, it's so amazing. And of course, shout outs to the Restream team here for actually putting on the show. We may be running it, but you're the ones that put it all together.
Thank you so much. 10, any shout outs or final thoughts before you go into qualifier 2?
Yes, thank you for everybody putting the event on. The dev of the randomizer. I've always hated this game, always will. And yeah, that's it. Thank you, everybody.
No problem. Scar.
Yeah, thanks to all y'all for putting this on, and thanks to Possum and all my friends for getting me into this. I wouldn't have known about this if not for Tibalt. Yeah, just have a good night, y'all.
Awesome. And Demon?
Again, shout out to everybody, to you guys for putting on the actual show for everybody who wanted to have a good watch. It was fun to run. I hope it was fun to watch. Shout out for putting the tournament together. I know it can sometimes be a thankless task, but you guys put together an awesome flag set. I can't wait. I think I'm going to sit Qual 2 out in the booth, maybe see if I can roll a seed and just curse everybody with some evil, but we'll see how it goes in the asyncs.
Please don't let this
Fair
man roll
enough.
the seed.
Yes.
Like I said
I wanna
when we
finish
were in the
seat,
waiting room,
actually.
anyone can roll RN Jank, and since I might be rolling the majority of the tournament seeds, we'll see what I bring to the table in terms of hazards for everybody. Hatox, any final thoughts? Thank you so much for being my co-commentator tonight, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Demon, you can have my seat over here tomorrow. I'm hoping that I'll make it home in time to take part in qual number 2, and put a score up there. This seed definitely, I would have had some struggles with it myself. I hate big open world choices because the routing is just so you have to make a call, and if you make the wrong call, you're probably last locating your progression on every step of the way. And I seem to do that a lot.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some twists and turns in this year's tournament, and I can't wait to see them all, especially once we get to the brackets proper. But I think that's going to do it for us tonight, chat. Like our runners have mentioned, we do have our second restream qualifier tomorrow. That is going to be at 9 p.m. East Coast time on the FFR channel. I don't know if it's going to be on FFR proper 2 or 3. So go ahead and check out ffmqrando.net and join the Discord for any of our future announcements for the event. No, you're all good. Dogs happen. And again, thanks everybody so much for joining us tonight in these races. Shout outs to our amazing runners for letting us restream them, and shout outs to our community. And we look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Take care.
Have a good night.